Immediately, Keowestoen began shrinking into an infant. When she had shriveled into infantine impotence, Becky took the diaper which Gretchen had left on the bed and diapered her former apprentice. Then she raised both her feet in one of her hands and pulled a pair of vinyl pink pants down over her legs and diapers. Laura appeared with baby Brad in her arms, dressed in a diaper and t-shirt. She passed another t-shirt to Becky, and Keowestoen was swiftly dressed to match her supposed twin brother. With only a nod, Laura took the two babies into her arms and took them outside to go to the airport. She strapped them in behind the driver's seat with no regard for the law about baby seats in cars. It didn't matter, the spell she had placed on the car made them absolutely invisible in the back seat. A different version of the same spell would make her presence completely forgettable after she had passed the ticket desk and boarded the airline. She would pay for the ticket in untraceable cash. Within 4 hours after she had passed, everyone who had chanced to see her or the two babes in arms that she carried would forget as well. Within 12 hours, she would be back home and there would be no records or memories to betray her. Since the spell operated at the cellular level of memory and perception, no amount of truth serum or hypnosis could make the ostensible witnesses reveal what had been erased from the neurochemical structure of their minds. Even the Baptist minister who took the babies from her would find within 24 hours that he could not remember her face, hair color, or the clothes she wore. Then the true cover-up would begin. The house would be emptied of furniture and then demolished. After that was accomplished, the tax records and utility records were modified to show that taxes had never been paid on the city-owned lot and that the utilities had never been installed or turned on. The telephone company suddenly never had a customer with the unlikely name of Keowestoen Rockabuy. The original building permits vanished along with the new permits Keowestoen had gotten when she upgraded the security on the house. The accounts receivables registers in 100 businesses and local businesses changed overnight as all payments, debts and credits created by the adult Keowestoen were expunged from the records. All evidence of Keowestoen's physical existence on Earth disappeared from reality. The person named Keowestoen Rockabuy had never existed. Her deceased parents had died childless. Before the day was out, her voter registration and party affiliation would disappear from the records. Her birth records and school records vanished into thin air overnight. Even the checkout records from the public library would vanish overnight. High school yearbooks in hundreds of homes and 2 libraries, the local library and the high school library, had blank spaces, a notoriously bad error on the part of the printer. Everyone would remember as they looked at the blank spot in the school yearbook, where Keowestoen's photo had been. Family albums changed as she vanished from class photos of every class she had attended from kindergarten to high school. The van that she had driven would be found abandoned at the side of a lonely road without plates or prints. The van would be found in pristine condition, without a trace of hair, fiber, stain, or evidence of normal use of any sort. The tires would show no wear and would look brand new. When the police found the van and ran a check of its VIN number, vehicle identification number, it was found to be the unsold property of a car dealership and was returned to them as recovered stolen property. Even the sealed odometer reading was consistent with a one-way trip from its original owner, the car dealership. Both the police and the dealership's manager would be baffled as to how a 2-year-old car was still listed on the dealership's books as new and unsold. They also would be mystified as to how and why the thieves stole a car that had obviously gotten misplaced on the lot and then abandoned the still valuable vehicle. Keowestoen would become an unperson in Orwell's phraseology. While there was nothing they could do about Brad except hide him among the Baptists of Texas, Keowestoen's very existence could be systematically erased in toto. A few minor spells on her neighbors, and they would only remember that the lot on the corner of the street had always been a weed-overgrown empty lot. The rest of the coven members removed any magic-cal equipment and records from Keowestoen's room as they prepared to depart. It had been a nice, clean, surgical operation, so unlike the shoddy way that the former apprentice named Keowestoen preferred to do business. At its highest levels, a well-organized coven has the same striking power of a CIA black bag, wet operations, and cleanup crew. There was nothing left to find in the morning. The principles and the evidence were gone, totally eradicated beyond humankind's ability to find or reproduce upon demand. Within 2 days, Keowestoen's driving record, insurance history, medical history, vaccination records, IRS records, credit records, utility bills, social security records, school records, and vital statistics had ceased to exist. Keowastoen's entire life vanished instantaneously as magically charged programs swept the financial, educational, and medical institutions for evidence that the person named Keowastoen Rockabuy had existed and eradicated the data instantly and permanently. The combination of computers and magic could reach into the most secure database and eradicate every iota of Keowastoen's former existence. Hundreds of perfectly forged orders from the Federal Marshal's Witness Protection Program appeared on the desks of the keepers of the magic-resistant titanium steel vaults of paper records with the proper seals and signatures of relevant officials, ordering the recipient to destroy any physical documentation of Keowastoen's former identity. These documents were accompanied by the usual threats of immediate imprisonment without benefit of bail, counsel, or trial under the relevant federal statutes granting unlimited emergency executive power to the Federal Marshal Service to seize anyone who disregarded its orders to be put into solitary confinement and have the key be, in effect, thrown away. Once you had angered the ultimate keepers of state secrets, there was no forgiveness or remission of sins, only the oubliette or death would satisfy their bloodthirsty, gut-gnawing need for revenge. As always, the record keepers obeyed without a murmur of disagreement. To argue or disagree with the government agencies involved would cause them to disappear more completely than the victims of the dictatorial regimes of South American dictatorships. Not a single record keeper had ever had the courage to dispute the right of the government to subvert their private file systems. To do so would incur the wrath of a group who might decide to drop their bullet-riddled corpse in a pit filled with wet lime in the dead of night. The government had grown too powerful and dangerous for either large corporations or individuals to fight.